Good evening, afternoon, or night, axolots. For legal reasons, I don't know where you live. Friends, what an interesting topic. Now that I am of the grand age of 21 going on 22, I think the NDA period of me discussing my high school friendship breakup stories has officially passed. So yes, we will be beating that dead horse. Now, I know I've mentioned previously on this channel that there is people that I met in high school that made me want to move to another planet and die of asphyxiation. But there were some names and some stories that I was careful not to bring attention to. However, I am now washed on YouTube after disappearing for a few months. So I can officially say whatever I want again with no fears. Hooray! Okay, let's start this off. I'm going to rank them on this tier list, okay, from D to S. D is like, whatever man, you rage baited me at most, good riddance, I don't care. S tier is bro. Oh, that shit broke me so bad. I changed forever as a person. It actually has me mourning, it has me dreaming about it. When I heard the song Castle in Hollywood by Leve, I just sit here thinking about how it all went wrong. Okay, moving on. Starting this list off strong, I want to talk about the girl that completely rewired my brain chemistry. And not in a cute little, little crush way, no. I mean, in a way where younger me genuinely hoped that she would turn into a snail in her next life and get stepped on. I had never experienced such hatery before this. We're gonna call her Snail. So I met Snail at the ripe age of 14, in my second year of high school. At this point, I had already established a little group of friends, and we were all excited to spend the school year together. It was at this point when I met Snail for the first time, because she was in my class. I still remember our first interaction. We were figuring out how to move the tables to fit 6 people, since at the time our school made us sit in like groups for some reason. And Snail, who was sitting at a nearby table with only one other girl, tried to help us with our little dilemma. I remember as I thanked her, I saw one of my friends motioning for me to stop, and I was confused until they debriefed me later. You see, Snail had a reputation in our first year of high school, and I was apparently the only one in the whole world to have no idea about this. She became anti, which basically in Chinese high school terms meant that the whole year group chose to ignore and avoid her. She was kicked out of her original friend group that was filled with the popular girls for reasons that remained unclear for a long time. And after that, she was basically cooked. Alas, 14-year-old me wanted to be kind. I thought that those popular girls were like Regina George, picking on little old Snail for being different. She quickly latched on to the fact that I was the only one who would actually respond to her, and began telling me her side, her story. She told me how everybody misunderstood her and that she was being isolated during that year because she was hanging out with an evil girl that was ruining her reputation. That very girl who was sitting in the same group as her. Spoiler alert, she was the evil girl. Yeah, but at the time, my heart ached for her. I told my group of friends and I tried to encourage them to give her a second chance, because no one deserved to be treated like this. Whatever rumors or things people said about her, it was in the past, man. She's misunderstood. I was playing the defendant of actual Satan. First of all, this girl was both the smartest and the dumbest person I have ever met in my entire life. She was actively trying to turn us against each other in order to get rid of the people in the friend group that she wanted to replace, basically. She made up rumors about one of our friends, Jelly, saying that Jelly was bullying her, all because Jelly was still on quite good friendship terms with the popular girls of Snail's old friend group. So Snail told us that when we weren't around, Jelly got up with her group of popular girls and started pointing fingers at her, jeering and laughing, calling her friendless and ugly and chopped and gay. Looking back, it was kind of funny because she was making it sound like the High School Musical My Little Pony bullying choreography. And she made us feel like we couldn't actually talk to Jelly about this because it would make the bullying worse. So we just kind of had to hush hush because we were all dumb teenagers. Here's a side story before we get to the main stuff. Snail had a type of scoliosis that she needed to get surgery for. And while building up to that date, she would consistently tell us that she had a 0.5% chance of surviving the operation. And she was buying us gifts writing us goodbye letters
in case she dies.
to one of the popular girls in her old friend group if she didn't make it. And it was something like, "Oh, I know you guys hate me, but I'll forever cherish the friendship that we had. Thank you, and I'm sorry for whatever I did that made you stop liking me."
Huh?
That just made me feel even worse for her, and it wasn't even. Oh my god, it wasn't even real. She was making up this whole fan fiction. In her head, she could have prevailed as an AO3 writer. I was so sad because I genuinely thought I was going to lose a close friend of mine. I couldn't sleep on the day of her surgery. I was so worried. She basically had us all convinced she was gonna die. But then a few days later, yeah, she was fine. Oh my god. It was a miracle! Yeah, well, it turns out my friends looked it up. It was the most common procedure for scoliosis with an extremely high success rate. Like, it would have been an amazing feat to mess up on that surgery. You would have to get shot during the operation or something in order to like during the surgery, you know? Obviously, I am exaggerating, but I am in no way exaggerating more than Snail, who told us she had less than a 1% chance of surviving. It's a 0.2% risk of not surviving, bro. But I digress. You will need a hospital to be freaking boom. But I digress. Another wild thing she did that comes to mind. Oh my god, this is like bringing up so many memories. She made an account impersonating one of our juniors to rizz up one of the guys in our friend group, just so she would have insider gossip to tell us about and bond with us more. Huh? You might be wondering though, okay, she's a liar. Yeah, she tried to break up the friend group. Sounds like pretty basic high school stuff. Why was it that it made such a huge impact on me that I can still recall it with such accuracy 8 years later? Well, one day she decided that I was the one that she needed to get rid of. Hello, axolots! Businessman Fowl is back. Do you also struggle with managing your browser? Somehow turning it into a digital dump? Well, I have the solution. Introducing Opera, the browser that has literally saved me so much time. Let me walk you through it, my homunculi. So say you're like me, suffering in university due to the mountain of assignments. This calls for some entertainment. And what's better than the video pop-out feature, which allows you to move any video of your choice to the corner of your screen. Now I can finally work on my research paper while watching a video on why pigeons are secretly spies. And that's not all, folks. With the split screen feature on Opera, I can easily just drag the tab down and boom! Document on one, journal articles on the other, call me multi cause I be tasking. My favorite feature though has got to be the tab tracers. The darker the line is at the bottom, the more recent the visit was. No more, which one of these 27 tabs is what I need right now, and which one was a link to the burger phone case I liked 4 months ago moments. Finally, to wrap it all up, you guys know how much I love customization, and Opera has so many themes to offer. From animated backgrounds, UI colors, and browser sounds, you can even change the keyboard sounds. I just love having a little bit of me show in everything that I own and use. Opera didn't just clean up my browser, it basically gave my whole headspace a power wash. And you can try it yourself with the link in my description. Thank you again to Opera for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to the train wreck. Yeah, okay. Basically, we were catching on to her spreading lies about friends, and while I didn't directly confront her, I was more obviously awkward and hesitant around her, okay? I wear my emotions on my sleeves. I'm not good at pretending. And so I guess she saw me as a threat to her status in the friend group suddenly. Once upon a time, she had told me that I was the only person she trusted most out of everyone. And now I guess she kind of saw me as like a, oh, I got you in this group, I can get you out kind of deal in her eyes, I suppose. But the way she went about it was so ridiculous. Like, okay, if you think one of your friends is starting to lose trust in you, do you A, ask them about it like a normal person, apologize for your previous lies and try to amend the friendship again? B, sit through it, wait for the inevitable confrontation? Or C, write a fake letter to yourself framing them for bullying you and threatening your social life? Guess which one she chose? I remember that day all too well. Now, Snail was actually quite good at cooking, and she would sometimes bring us stuff to eat as a little treat. That day, she pulled up to my closest high school friend's desk with a chair And keep in mind, I was sitting right next to my friend. She gave her a Tupperware of pasta, aglio olio with beef. I remember. And then she started crying. Egad. Must have been a fire pasta. Anyways, I went back to minding my own business because I couldn't really make out what she was crying about. But I understood social cues enough to know that she was not talking to me about this, she was talking to my friend. My friend later told me that Snail was basically telling her about how she found a letter on her desk. The letter was basically just insults and threats, saying if she came close to our friend group again, they would make sure that she was isolated forever. And Snail tried to say that I wrote this letter. May? What? Okay, first of all, not me because I would never do that. Second of all, not me because I couldn't even do that because this letter was in Chinese and at the time my Chinese was really bad. Third of all, one of our friends, juniors, literally saw her typing that up herself in the library. You cannot be serious. So yeah, well after that, there was some internal tension in the group. Obviously, my closest friend in high school had more than 5 brain cells, so she did not believe Snail. In fact, this whole incident made our group bond more over our mutual hatred towards her. So her plan failed miserably and I had trust issues from then on. Nice, nice. I also later learned that the reason she was being avoided in our first year of high school was because the year before that, in elementary school, she held a knife against a guy's throat. Man, I wish someone told me that! Anyways, she's a solid C tier. I was mostly just broken up about it because I was the one who wanted to give her a second chance, and it hit me in the face and almost annihilated my entire high school friend group. Moving on. Ice cream.
She is homophobic.
Okay, this one is not gonna be too long, I hope. I met ice cream alongside my other online friends on Amino at once again the ripe age of 14, while she was 16. She was really on this whole like homophobic but not line, where in order to get past the no hate allowed, no bigotry rule and stay in that community, she just made an OC that was homophobic and used that OC to say homophobic stuff. It was a weird place. Looking like that, I'm not gonna lie. That is the most creative way I've seen someone try to outsmart the system. Who thinks of that? When I began to blow up on my Instagram art account, she kept pestering me to feature her because she wanted clout as well. And after the whole snail thing, I had a certain sensitivity to being used, so I wasn't really like open to that, especially when she had never really bothered to talk to me until then. At one point, she told us all that she had just been diagnosed with narcolepsy. And so obviously we were all showing her support, we were trying to be there for her. She then made a drawing on her Instagram, which was a symbolism of her narcolepsy, and asked me to reshare it for her. And I was 15, I wanted to be nice. Plus, she worded it in a very like, if you don't this, you're a horrible person that hates people with narcolepsy kind of way. So I featured her and she got the extra likes that she wanted. Turns out she did not have narcolepsy. She broke that news to us later on. Apparently, she never even went to the doctor to get diagnosed. She just assumed she had it because she felt sleepy sometimes. And when she actually went to a doctor, they were like, "Hey, no, that's pretty normal. You do not have any narcolepsy symptoms." What really tore us apart was when we both opened commissions around the same time. Okay. I opened 10 slots to raise money for something, and they got filled up pretty fast. So I expressed my excitement in the group chat. Ice cream did not like that. I wish I could remember the details better, but it was so long ago in a WhatsApp group, and I don't have the history function anymore. But she was basically throwing shade at me, talking about how she didn't get commission and I did, so I was being boastful and entitled for bringing it up. What? I didn't even know she was opening commissions. Hello? Mind you, during this, I was around 15 and she was 17. I told her that I didn't like that she was being passive aggressive to me in the group chat, so she proceeded to leave the group and make me look like a big meanie. She then messaged me walls of apologies. But they were like telling me how if I don't forgive her, her mind would go blank during her final year examination and she would fail her test and she wouldn't be able to go into a university and it will all be my fault. I wish I could find the text, y'all. She also ended that apology with "Sayonara, girl." I don't really know how I'm supposed to respond to that. And then when I chose not to reply to her and forgive her, she told me that God was going to send me to hell over that. Okay. And then when I still wouldn't respond to her, she started a live stream on her Instagram where she was like clutching onto this drawing. I know this sounds made up, guys, but I swear to you it happened. Okay, I swear to you, all my friends from that time can back it up. She was clutching onto this drawing of all our OCs together and saying how, oh, a friend didn't forgive me, so I have depression now. Huh? And then after this, she started staging a sewer slide? A sewer slide! She was on her Instagram story talking about how she was gonna be gone soon to a place where nobody can reach her. November something would be her last date alive. Obviously, I panicked as a 15-year-old. So me and my friends, we all tried reaching out. We were like, hey, don't do that. And when eventually when she had enough attention from everyone trying to reach her, she posted another story laughing at us and mocking us for being concerned, saying that she was just gonna be moving accounts. Like, guys, why did you think I was gonna cut myself? Like, that's so haram. What? Girl!
Girl, everything you did just made you the CEO of Haram. What do you mean?
Oh nah, she was actually the #1 rage baiter before rage baiting became popular. D tier, good riddance. Also, she kept flirting and trying to date our friend who was 12. At the time, she was 17.
Hello?
She assumed that that friend came from a rich family because he went to an international school. So she would be genuinely upset when he was hanging out with people his age because she would think he's cheating on her. What? That's okay, yeah, that's definitely the weirdest part, not gonna lie. I was 14 to 15, so I thought she was just joking. But looking back, no, she's a VTuber now. Or is at least attempting to be a VTuber. Not much to say about that. I just hate you. I fucking hate you, bro. Okay, next up, I'm gonna skip a few people because this video is getting way too long. But if you guys want a part 2, let me know. This person, we're gonna call them John. John actually gave me so much rage. Probably because this whole thing that happened with John was more recent than the other two. This happened when I was like 17, okay? You see, John was actually part of the online group of friends I made on Amino. At the start, we didn't get to interact that much, however, because they were usually busy with schoolwork. So imagine my surprise one day when they started being more active and instantly tried to talk smack about me to my friend. Yeah! I think this was once again during the whole 2022-2023 Minecraft era gang, and yes, sadly I was into the Dream SMP during this stage. Another friend of mine, A, was also into the Dream SMP, and we've been talking about it for a while. One day, John started a conversation about the Dream SMP in the group chat, and I was excited because I like the Dream SMP too, so I joined in on the conversation. Imagine my surprise when they immediately stopped talking, and 30 minutes later, I get a message from A. A asked me if anything ever happened between me and John. I said no, because I was genuinely clueless. Well, it turns out, John was telling A a bunch of stuff about me. Some parts that were just straight up lies to make me look bad. I was confused and I tried to think back to how this could have possibly happened. You guys wanna know what happened? You wanna know what caused this deep-rooted hatred for me? 3 years ago, when we were around 14, our whole friend group was supposed to meet up at a comic convention for the first time in real life. But we were in 2 groups and we couldn't find each other because the line was also really bad, so it was really hard to get into contact. John started being really passive-aggressive about my group of friends because I guess they were frustrated that we couldn't find each other, so they just started taking it out on us, saying that it was our fault, even though we were trying our best to be reunited with them as well. I kind of told them off in the group a little bit for being so rude to us. Like, I was telling them like, hey, we're trying our best to find you too, you don't gotta be so mean about it. And when we finally reunited with each other, they chose to sit on the grass and ignore me. But I literally did not think about it much other than that being our first in-person interaction. And plus, it has been 3 years since that. Plus, before talking bad about me to A in the group chat, they tried to start acting all buddy to me after I started growing on YouTube. They kept asking me to do a video collab with them. Interesting. Well, one day, when we finally decided to have a talk about this, they sent me a whole email. Yes, I realize how ridiculous this is. They told me that WhatsApp confrontations make them nervous, so they would prefer it if we settled our beef over email instead. Huh? Well, I responded, and it turned into a really long document of me refuting everything they were talking about and basically telling them that yes, I know that they were spreading lies about me to A. When I did even more digging, turns out it didn't stop there. They went to multiple friends in my group behind my back to tell them that they had a bad feeling about me. Huh? Let me sum it up to you guys. Essentially, John was convinced that there was a hierarchy in the friend group and I was on top being the queen bee. I kid you not. I'll try to find the email from them about this.
Hi guys. I just wanted to read some of my favorite lines from the email that they sent me. So this is about them, like the Dream SMP thing. When the moment I joined the conversation, they left to talk smack about me to my friend. In regards to that, they said, I hated it when you joined a good conversation that I finally managed to strike up, because I know that you'd steal the spotlight away, and soon my conversation partner wouldn't exactly be talking to me anymore. People love you so much. People want you so much. Thus, Queen Bee. Girl, maybe I can be your conversation have you ever considered? You know when I replied to you, I'm trying to be your conversation partner, right?
When I finally talked to them about this and called them out on their lies, they tried to deny it and said they were busy so they would get to refuting my points later on. Well, it's been 3 years, John. Where's the refutations, John? Generally, though, it was confirmed in their messages that they started feeling like I disliked them after that one incident in the comic convention 3 years ago. Bro, I didn't even think about it again until this whole thing happened. You know, John, for a self-proclaimed people pleaser, why am I not being pleased right now? Why is it so unpleasant to be around you? Anyways, remember my story about ice cream? Well, turns out they were offline during that whole incident, and when they came back and saw that ice cream had left the group, without asking for any context, they immediately assumed that I bullied her out and turned everyone against her as the queen bee. Because the only thing they knew was that ice cream left after an altercation with me. When I confronted John about this and told them that they shouldn't have just assumed and used the whole situation with ice cream to back up the pre-existing notion that they already had about me, their excuse was, well, no one tells me anything, so how am I supposed to know? Ask! 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 Why don't you ask? Whoa, your mouth, the thing that God has given you with vocal cords, use it! Use it! Use your thumbs! Type a question! Use the question mark button! Do something! This whole thing was literally happening in the group chat that you were in. Why would I go ahead and tell you extra? The whole Reynolds pamphlet was in your doorstep, yeah? Why did you not read it and just assume that I was the problem? Okay, I'm calm. I'm calm. It was years ago. I'm calm. It's fine. Yeah, that was the only thing they really apologized for, the whole ice cream situation. Also, it is just insane to me that they think I was this evil queen bee who would kick out people without care when I literally took the time to make this gigantic document to talk to them to clear out any misunderstandings because I cared and I wanted to still be friends and I wanted to get this whole conflict out of the way. Yes, I'm still crashing out. I will never regret putting in effort to save a friendship, okay? I feel like it took so much out of me, but after this, I just promised myself that I would never go through such lengths for someone who already decided that they didn't like me. Anyways, this whole document wasn't the end though. We genuinely tried to put it behind us. I was open to forgiving. But during this whole incident, it was also the time when COVID was still a huge thing and Chinese people were getting beaten up on the streets, if you guys remember. And I am bringing this up because months after this confrontation, I saw that they had posted a YouTube video depicting COVID-19 as a very Stereotypically drawn Chinese girl killing people. Okay, she had the buns that look like the COVID disease and a traditional qipao. Yeah, I don't know. Not the best look, I would say. Maybe I'm just that friend who's way too woke. Okay, but I tried to talk to them about it with my other friend because it left a kind of a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know. It's just kind of a bummer to see your friend contribute to this whole depicting Chinese people as evil during the COVID thing during a sensitive time. I honestly thought that John was just gonna be like, oh, my bad, and keep that in mind. That's it. Because they were quite open minded. So I was so surprised when they flipped out on me. I did not expect that in a million years. They were so extremely defensive, and we kept trying to tell them that we're not calling them racist, it's just something a bit ignorant, something to keep in mind. At one point, they say we were trying to get them cancelled, but right after I reassured them that I wasn't going to expose them online because this is literally just a small thing we're bringing up as friends, they instantly chilled, went okay, and left all the friend groups. Amazing. It is great to see where the priorities lie. They're still a creator now and getting the attention that they wanted. Obviously, I'm not gonna share who it is because, first of all, classic, I don't want them to get hate despite everything because I already know they're gonna play victim. Also, second of all, it's been 3 years since then. I can only hope that they've grown a bit during that. Overall, C tier. I was very upset at first because I genuinely thought we were chill friends until they suddenly attempted to turn everyone against me. But hey, it shows that at least my friends had my back and didn't believe their nonsense for a second because they actually knew me. Sorry, my phone was running out of battery because I was yapping so much. Anyways, good riddance, John. You still make me kind of miffed when I think about your shenanigans, so good job, nephew. I have like 3 more, but this video is getting way too long, so do let me know if you guys want a part 2. That is just me complaining for 30 minutes straight. I'm just gonna say that I made the S tier on this list with one person in mind only, and it is tough. Even writing down all my notes about this, to even begin talking about this person. I feel like I can't say much about them because even though it has been like 2 years, the wound still feels a bit fresh, guys. I'm not gonna lie. But it also feels wrong to just like ignore them in a video topic like this. So I'm just gonna put an anonymous up here. I feel like also they might come across this video, and if they do, I don't want a dumb silly YouTube video to be what potentially breaks no contact, I'm just gonna say it was some secret animosity and jealousy stuff building up over the years, and of course a random boy that took priority over a 6-year friendship. That's still so insane to me, guys. Like, this is an oversimplification, of course, but it still wraps up what happened. Maybe in like give it like 3 more years and maybe my NDA for this will be closed and I can finally talk about it. Anyways, I've learned a lot of lessons since then, and I have a lot of friendships that I cherish deeply to this day, and made me realize that, damn, guys, having friends shouldn't feel as stressful and migraine inducing and 2K word documenty as these ones were. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry it was such a yap session, and also sorry for being dead. Lamau. I started a job recently. Yes, an internship. I'm finally in my employed era, gang. So videos will be slower than usual, of course, but I will still try my best. Thank you for watching. If you have any batshit cuckoo old friendships, stories to tell as well, do share in the comments. And I will see you guys in the next one. Friendship punch!